Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. I'd like to introduce you. This is Robin Alpern. Robin is the Director of Training for the Center for the Study of White American Culture. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it, Robin.
Thank you, Amira. I really appreciate you inviting me.
You're so welcome. So Robin, you're doing what I think is, everything that we've been dealing with in terms of our society around race and racism and dismantling racism and learning and understanding, and all these changes are so key and so relevant right now, and just in general, right? I feel like I can think of so many ways that I feel like the work you do makes history, right? But how do you feel like you're making history now in terms of your work? What's important about your work and how it's affecting things now?
Well, I work as an anti-racism trainer and consultant, and I do that largely by leading workshops, but in other ways as well. And so my primary work is trying to teach people and support them in their growth and learning about race, racism, and anti-racism. And for the most part, people are very uneducated about these issues. So I work hard to convey language, analysis, tools, history, kind of all of the things that people need to really understand about racism and what part we play in it and what part we can play as anti-racists. I will add that I particularly focus on the role of white people in this work. I am white myself, and it's very important to me that my community take full responsibility for structural racism and get to work.
I love it. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. So what's important to you about the work that you do?
In my humble estimation, structural and systemic racism are among the major impediments to the human race evolving and developing to what we could be. They significantly oppress ultimately everybody. I don't know if you're familiar with Heather McGhee's new book. Fortunately, lots of people are talking about it. Her book, I love the title of it, The Sum of Us, What Racism Costs Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together. What's important to me about my work is to help people understand the reality of that it is costing everybody. And we could be so much happier and healthier and successful if we would put a stop to this.
Absolutely. I know from my learning with the People's Institute and like some work with the Anti-Racist Alliance, just that even for white people, there's a big part of themselves that they give up when they subscribe to whiteness in its form, like in our country, the way that whiteness is, like coming over as an immigrant or all the things that happen in that process. So
it's absolutely right.
Understanding. Right, terrific. How does your work help others?
Well, obviously, the less harm we do to one another, the better it is. Again, I try to help people understand because a lot of folks just really don't. They think that racism is just inherent in human nature, or they think it doesn't even exist and that white people are actually oppressed right now. And, there's just so much misinformation and disinformation. So I try to help people understand the actual history of structural racism. If you know how we got here, then where we are now makes a lot better sense. And I try to support people to see where they can be in action, locally, globally, wherever.
Terrific. How do you feel, and keeping confidentiality in mind, right? But if you were to think of how your work has impacted either a community, a family, a program, an organization, a group of people, an individual, how do you feel, what story or what can you tell us about how you have made a difference?
Well, one project I'm particularly proud of, a workshop that I developed actually outside of the Center for Study of White American Culture, under my own organization, which is Calling White Folks In. Under that organization, I developed with my colleague Robin Schlanger, another white anti-racism trainer, we developed a course called The Arc of White Womanhood. And it is all about how white women are implicated from the beginning in this country in white supremacy culture, and how we continue to be involved in it. And this has been very new education for me over the past few years. And I have really appreciated being able to teach other people who, like myself, have been socialized as white and female, to see how much damage and harm we have caused in our role, and what we can do better.
Terrific. Wow. That's so powerful, just to hear, Robin. Thank you. So, and if people want to find you or connect with you, and how can they do that? How can they learn more and connect with you?
The center has a website. It's www.cswac.org. And we offer many workshops, and you can find me there.
I appreciate this today.
Thank you so much, Amira. Appreciate your work too, and all the best.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.